Hello Bookish friends, welcome to another try a chapter video. This year every month I'm doing a try a chapter video in order to decide if some of the books on my Goodreads TBR will stay in my Goodreads TBR or not. This month's theme is second chance books or authors. The 5 books are Bir İdam Mahkumunun Son Günü, The Last Day of the Condemned Man by Victor Hugo, Matilda by Roald Dahl, Devil's Cup by Georgette, H is for Hawk by Helen MacDonald, and An Unsuitable Attachment by Barbara Pym. The first book that I will try a chapter of is a French classic by Victor Hugo. I will listen to the Turkish version, Bir İdam Mahkumunun Son Günü, The Last Day of the Condemned Man. I have previously tried reading The Hunchback of Notre Dame by this author, but I couldn't finish it because I felt like it was full of details. When I saw this book on my audiobook app, I wanted to give Victor Hugo another chance. I listened to a small section of The Last Day of a Condemned Man by Victor Hugo. In this first chapter, we are in the minds of a man who's condemned to death, who has a death sentence. He starts telling what happened in the imprisonment after he has been tried and the court has finished. Second book that I will listen is from an author that is very much loved by almost everybody except me in BookTube, Roald Dahl. I really don't like his dark humor and how cruel some of the acts of the characters in his books for middle grade audience. That is my personal view. I've heard that Matilda is a very different type of Roald Dahl book. That was the reason that I added this book to my TBR. I've also listened to a small section of Matilda because the chapters are quite long. And in that first section, we learn about Matilda, who has born into a very ordinary family, but she is very extraordinary, very clever. But her parents really do not admire her and thinks that she is an annoyance and can't wait to get rid of her. Matilda is really looking for more books to read because it looks like they only have one book in the house. And the third book that I will try is H for Hawk. I have previously tried reading this for Nonfiction November 2 years ago. And maybe because I was not in a place to read a book about grief, I decided to keep it on my TBR and read it for later. I will try reading the first chapter again and decide if I still want to keep this book on my TBR or not. I read the first chapter of H is for Hawk by Helen MacDonald. In this first chapter, the narrator talks about different kind of hawks and how they are relevant to the ecosystem. And she also talks about, aside from research, she has learned many things about hawks by her father. And in the end of the first chapter, she learns that her father is dead. Next book that I will try a chapter of, Devil's Cup by Georgette, the second book in Alistair series. I have read the first book in the series and I thought it was okay and decided to continue the series. However, as the time passed, although I really like historical romance series, I never had a desire to read this book. That's why I thought this book could be considered a second chance book to try a chapter of. I read a section in the beginning of the Devil's Cup by Georgette. In this section, a horse carriage in the Regency area has an accident. The driver is very careless. When the groom is injured, the very handsome and quite carefree Royal decides to shoot the heavily injured man and go on with the journey of the lady that he is invited to. The next book that I will try a chapter is An Unsuitable Attachment by Barbara Pym. I have previously read Excellent Woman by this author. To be honest, I have been quite disappointed by that book because many of my friends in BookTube really do like this author. That is why I've decided to give Barbara Pym another chance and read one of her highly regarded books. So I read a section from the beginning of An Unsuitable Attachment by Barbara Pym. In this section, a man who is unmarried moves to a new town and he recognizes two women. These two women are sisters. One is married to the vicar of the town, and the younger sister is also unmarried. So they are discussing if the vicar will pay him a visit and will they meet him or not. After reading the beginning sections of all of the 5 books, I've definitely decided to take out H is for Hog by Helen MacDonald from my TBR. Although the book was written quite well, and I thought it was a very good researched section, but the subject matter really did not interest me. I have never been interested in books about nature, wilderness, and even adventures in nature. So it was no wonder that I do not want to read this book. Second book that I knew that I wanted to take it out from my TBR was Devil's Cup by Georgette Hare. I don't have to like the main character of every book that I read, but I think in a romance I really have to like the main characters, and either the owner of the carriage or his friend will be one of the main characters. And I didn't like both of them, so I took out Devil's Cup by Georgette Hare from my TBR, as well as taking out Alistair series from the series that I'm currently in the middle of. I was sort of undecided about The Last Day of a Condemned Man by Victor Hugo. It had a good start, but it looks like the book is quite pessimistic considering the subject matter. But I decided to keep it on my TBR and read it maybe for another Misery May event. I also quite liked the section that I listened from Matilda. Although there were hints of dark humor that I don't like, I think I'm going to like the main character very much. So I decided to keep Matilda by Roald Dahl on my TBR. The book with the section that I liked the most was An Unsuitable Attachment by Barbara Pym. It had a good potential plot, and the writing style was really engaging. I decided to keep An Unsuitable Attachment by Barbara Pym as well. So this was my try a chapter video. I decided to take out 2 books in this vlog from my TBR, which were The Devil's Cup and H is for Hog, and keep the other 3, which were Matilda, The Last Day of a Condemned Man, and An Unsuitable Attachment. Please comment down below, have you read any of the books that I mentioned in this vlog? And if you're a new viewer, first of all, welcome. Please like and subscribe. Hope to see you very soon. Bye. As for Turkish word of the day, I'm going to choose suitable. Suitable means uygun in Turkish, and uygun is our Turkish word of the day. Have a good day.